Yes. And then room 13. Can we get a thumbs up there? You can make use of the little react, that smiley face as well, no? To send it. When you just go click on it, then it will show you a thumbs up. Thank you. That's what I want. Great, great, great. A little bit of interaction. Okay, guys, we are going to finalize our module 1 today. So let us get the textbooks out quickly. Just a little bit of revision. Oh, there goes my paper. Little bit of revision on what we did last week. Okay, so we looked at the responsibilities of managers. We looked at the characteristics of managers, the skills that a manager need, also the importance of a manager, and then the types of organizational resources. No? That is where we actually started. Okay, just going to get the transcript off here. All right. Okay, so today we also did the case study. Did you do the case study? Did you complete it? We've marked it and everything, Musna. Yes? Okay. All right. So the management environment, we're on page 14 in your textbooks. Okay. You can also make use of my notes that I gave you. I have a set here somewhere. Let me just get that quickly so that you know where we're on that if you don't have a textbook. No? Okay. So 1.3. Okay, today we are going to do very important information. So it's on page 11 in the slides, the top one. We're going to start with that. Okay. Right, so this work is very important, no? So mark it like that as well. I want you to focus so that you can understand what I'm saying, okay? So if we look at the management environment, we are actually looking at 3 aspects here. It is divided into 3 different subdivisions. The first one is then the macro environment. This is indirect. Can you still remember in N4 we actually did this in module 3, no? Then the market, which is going to affect you directly. Okay, this is also linked to your market share. Then we've got the micro environment, which is internal. So this is in the business itself, the strengths and the weaknesses. All right. Okay, so if we look at the SWOT analysis, which we are going to do then, and this is on page 15, we need to divide the SWOT analysis into 2 sub headings as well. So internal environment, we said just now, strengths and weaknesses of a business. So what could be strengths? Advantages, also capabilities, resources, and then the weaknesses, disadvantages, vulnerabilities, and then limitations. This is what we looked at in 4 as well, huh? In depth. So I'm not going to really go through that again. We will do at the end, we will do an activity where we will then compile and just use this information to make sure that you understand that and apply the knowledge. Okay, then opportunities. This is any changes, also developments and benefits. All right, so if we look at the threats, that is then the obstacles, the external effects, and risks. Now, the opportunities and threats, they are part of the external environment. Those are the things that you cannot control. Can you still remember? Internal, you can control. External, you can't control. Okay. All right. So, it is important that a manager is always proactive. What does proactive means? When you are in control of a situation, instead of just responding to it, you then actually prevent it totally. Okay, so internal management environment. So this is what we're going to look at now. This is also in your slides, the 1.3.1. Okay, on page 11. So this is where you involve factors in the business itself. And this is also known as the business culture. They love to ask, what is the definition of a business culture? Okay, so make a note there. That is one of the questions that you're definitely going to see again. Then it is about the rules, policies, procedures, objectives, and also goals of the business. Now, we looked at that previously as well. Then it also includes knowledge of the various functions in the business. The various functions, we looked at that last week, and this is now finance, marketing, HR, production, and also the administration. Then it includes the employees. Remember, we said the employees are the most important assets of any business. So their strengths and weaknesses, and also who are the people who work at this specific business. Then the last one here, all of these factors can be controlled, and that then forms the strengths or the weaknesses of a business. So if you have staff members who are untrained, obviously that's going to fall under weaknesses. If you have staff members who are well trained, that is going to fall under strengths. Does it make sense? Yes? Okay. So, the factors that you can actually control and form your strengths is then in a business should be anything related to build or in line to build on its strengths and also resolve your weaknesses. That is where you're heading. That is the goals that you have. Okay, then we've got the formal organization, and this is then where it refers to the rules and regulations. This is then the reporting procedures, who reports to who. This is important that your staff members knows that. Also the code of ethics, contracts for every employee, disciplinary procedure, all administrative procedures and grievances. Also code of conduct, health and safety rules, ethical standards, clear organogram that everyone knows what is the line of your report. So who must you report to? Then the informal organization. This then is the social structures. This is on page 16 in your textbook. Okay, so examples are then interaction of personal relations, also common interest, emotional resources, and motivation. We spoke about that last week as well as your social network, sorry. The informal organization does not require hierarchy or authority or structured internal procedures. So here, it does not have a specific guideline for the communication, so all employees can interact with each other. Next one is then it serves the needs of the individuals and can create spontaneously with a purpose of that it is not well defined. That is not well defined. Okay, organization and also your informal structures can develop within the formal structure. And this is, for example, you get together to form a smoking group or some people that belong to a gym. So socially, you form some groups. I'm sure you know or you have groups like that here on campus as well. Maybe not people in the same class as you, but you socialize in some way because you play soccer together or rugby, or you read, or you do anything in that line. You stay in the same area. Okay, so everyone in this group has the same authority. There's no manager. There's no one who actually takes the lead. Everyone is just equal. Okay, these groups can be both positive and negative. If grapevine communication takes place, then it have a negative impact on the business. What is grapevine communication? If you look at the blue block there on page 16, right at the middle where your book is bound, it says rumors and unofficial information. So that's actually gossiping, grapevine communication. Okay, then we've got the organizational politics. And this is then where they use power and social networking within a workplace to achieve changes that may benefit to the organization or individuals within it. It's going on page 17. It is not always positive because the power play issue is always ends always on a negative situation. Then organizational politics can develop when managers or then employees have their own hidden agendas, why they actually are part of this. And if there's no clear instructions, you know most of the rules. Some people will do a lot, others will do little, and the others will do nothing. Okay. Then we look at internal environmental elements. Now, this is where it gets very important. Okay, so we've got internal, meaning inside the business, environmental elements. First one, drafting of policies and procedures. And this is where it should be clear and concise in the drafting of these procedures. If there are any disputes, you want actually to avoid that because that's going to end up in CCMA or then the bargaining council, and that is related to your labor issues. Then financial aspects, keep proper record of, and we know this, the financial statements that is needed. And also a skilled financial manager can be a strength for any business. Then marketing aspects, identify the business's market, target markets, then use the correct advertising media to reach your target market, and then the business must be financially strong to do proper marketing. Business must have a competitive advantage. Competitive advantage, marketing, I'm not sure if you know the word niche, Niche, which means that this is a unique business that only you have, or that the business idea is then new, fresh, something that has never been before. Okay, so write that word down for you. So these factors can be strengths or it can become a weakness. Okay, then organizational politics, and this is then where you have a situation that it does not destroy the culture of the business. Business culture is very important. Business culture includes things like you belong, you feel the that you belong to the company. So you have the feeling that you want to go to work for some reason. Not only for your salary, but obviously for some reason. You have friends at work. You enjoy the work that you're doing. You feel part of the group that you are working in the department. And that is then part of your business culture. Okay. Could also be that you do things together, like team building things on a daily basis. So you start in the morning with something that motivates everyone. If you are sick and you can't go to work, then you feel I will rather go to work because I'm going to miss out. Okay, so that is all part of business culture. Okay, then this is now the internal management environment. Then the external management environment. These are things that you can't control. No? That is what we said from the beginning. So we have two aspects here. The first one is a market environment. This is on bottom page 17. This is where you look at the suppliers, the competitors, and also consumers, and the government. Oh, guys, I forgot totally to share my screen. Let me do that quickly. Sorry. Seems like Monday is a bit hectic on me as well. Oh, goodness. Just close this one quickly. Ach, now it's gone. Ay, Hannah. Let me just get out here. Share window. I think it's this one. Can you see something? Not yet. Try again. Oh, it's still turning. Ah, there we go. Give you a little bit of a breather before we take the external management aspects or elements, environments. Oh, it's very slow this morning. Skills. We've done this one a long time ago. Last week, no? Okay, let us see. Okay, so here we look at, this is today's work, no? Okay. It was the internal environment, a few pictures for those of you who need to get it in that form. Okay, so if we look at the first thing here is then the suppliers. Okay, so these are going to have a direct, will be direct external environment. So direct, if the supplier's prices goes up, then obviously you have to adopt your price. It is direct, the effect, but it is external. You can't do anything about that. Well, you can look for another supplier, but you can't really do a lot about that. Okay, so they might also be able to supply any raw materials that you need, or then final products that you are reselling them. Okay, so the next one is the competitors. Now, we know about competitors. They are actually having the same customers as us because they have the same market, target market as we have. Okay. If we look at things here like the correct pricing, also better customer service, stay creative, and then also keep adding new ranges of products. so that your customers will keep on coming back to you because they still get the products that they want and you your business is updated. Okay, competitors, further on this one. Yeah, price competition, your advertising promotions, better customer service, and also improve on the products, the product differentiation, and then the substitute of goods and services. Okay, and here's a company that actually does this very well. Checkers, no? They were the first to launch the 60/60, the delivery. They have the loyalty cards, the extra savings card, where you save more if you have this card. And they've got a lot of specials as well. Okay, then the consumers we looked at. Then the next thing is then the improvement on products. No, this one seems like it's on the wrong place. Okay, government. Government is the other aspect here. Okay, so government, this is now national and local government. Who are the local government? Anyone? Does anyone know? Yes, room 13? Can't hear proper? Okay, that is the municipalities, no? Doesn't matter where you are, that is the municipalities. You are right. In our area, it is Drakenstein municipality. Okay, good. Thank you, room 13. Okay, so here we look at things like the Consumer Protection Act 68 of 2008. And that is then also known, the abbreviation is CPA. And then the Basic Conditions of Employment Act 75 of 1997. That was amended in 2002, and that is a BCEA. Okay. Room 12, are you guys fine? Chat doesn't work. Oh, goodness. Okay, let us see. Did you go onto that chat little thingy? The chat there at the top. Okay. Okay, I will report it. It's sorry. Okay. I'm sure we will be able to sort out the IT today because our IT manager is here today. Okay. All right. Let us just go on with this. The other acts, so the Skills Development Act 97 of 1998, SDA. Maybe just just throw an eye over these. They might ask you some of these as well in the multiple questions. And then the Labour Relations Act 66 of 1995, that was amended in 2002, and that is LRA. Next, National Credit Act 34 of 2005, and that is the NCA. Then the Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act 130 of 1993, that is COIDA. Then Occupational Health and Safety Act 85 of 1993, OHS. And then the Protection of Personal Information Act 4 of 2013, POPI Act, of which you also signed, no? When you registered here with us. Okay, so the business have to comply with all the municipality bylaws. That is then also registration of permits, licenses, all of those things. It needs to be registered with CIPC and the Companies Act, and also for paying taxes. Then the government can also be a customer, remember, when you hand in tenders or a tender for a specific service, they might be your customer. Okay, so that was the direct external environment. Next one is the indirect external environment. So you know about these, but it's not really going to have that big effect on your business. And this is now where we look at PESTEL. Can you still remember that one? Political, economical, social, technological, and then environmental, and then legal. Okay, so these ones are on page 20 in your textbook. I think that is where the slide is coming in. All right, so political and legal, South Africa as our democratic system. There's also a lot of things happening nowadays after the elections. So keep in mind that the laws already mentioned in table 110, the previous one that we looked at now, and then it influence and pressure the trade union. So this is now where you might have a labor relations situation or unrest or strike. Then the environmental groups such as Greenpeace, I don't know if you know about them. They are also very active. Greenies, they call them the greenies sometimes. Okay, here we've got that one slide of mine is also the wrong place. Okay, then the environmental groups. Oh, that's what I said just now. Then the implementation of the employment equity and possible penalties. If you don't obey some rules, they will just fine you. So you'll pay a fine or a penalty. It influenced the influence of the political parties, crime, and then other major things that might happen, like we went through COVID just now. That was a major pandemic. The influence of the value of the rands. Then economics, so our free market system. Who can tell me what a free market system is? Free market system, room 13, yes. Yeah. Can you remember? What is a free market system? If someone wants to talk, just come to the front and talk there at the mic. Otherwise, I can't hear, guys. Sorry. Yes, room 13. Free market system. Oh. Okay, homework. You're going to find out what is free market system. I'm going to ask you tomorrow, no? Okay, so here you look at the country's economy, and that has a fast influence on any business. I heard yesterday again that the small businesses are really affected by this, and that is why it is important to start micro businesses. So low economic growth leads to unemployment, and that we know is an opportunity to scare people and also to retrench people. That's what you don't want. So keep in mind, when the interest rate is high, consumers have less buying power because they don't have money to buy. No? And then when the inflation rate is high, money has less value as well. So everything is more expensive. You buy for 300 Rand, you get less objects. Or you can afford only, you get less for the money. Then when the economy is in a recession, customers have less money to spend, and then they also might get unemployed. Socio-cultural situation, that's the third one. The different cultures, beliefs, ethnical backgrounds, that also has an effect, and that is our country has various cultures and beliefs, and also different values. The semantic differences, or the words may have different meaning by different cultures. We also look at and always look at small things that certain cultures, the man has to enter the any building or any place before women. But in other cultures, it's just other way around. So if you don't know or understand the different cultures, you might think, or that might cause trouble in any business. Okay, then the technological part. Here, what you have to keep in mind that you keep updated with the technology. Also, it's cheaper to imported machines doing the same function. We don't want to hear that, but that is unfortunately where we are heading. Then the environmental, or then the natural resources that we need to be protected. Otherwise, if we don't protect it, it's not going to be sustainable, meaning it's not going to last forever. So keep in mind the pressure from environmental organizations. That is now like the Greenpeace that we spoke about in the first factor. And then responding disposal of waste. What do you do with your waste? Do you just throw it away? Do you sort it for the municipality? Do you maybe reuse it? How much waste do you have? How much waste can we actually afford to have? I mean, we should really look at that and try and reuse as much as possible. Then the impact of pollution. Now, that is also something that we all know about. And I've showed my enforced the video here that I will also add onto your slides for you. The scarcity of clean water. I always mention something here that I really don't understand. We drink recycled water, but we flush our toilets with clean water. Doesn't make sense. Hear me? Okay. Then also the scarcity of electricity and nowadays water as well. They said that the war about water is the next big thing. Okay, then international. This is also indirectly affecting us. Okay. Let us hear what's going on internationally. Who knows? Let me hear. Room 13? Do you have any idea what's happening internationally? There was big news that happened on Friday regarding the war in Congo. Yes? Say again? Can't hear. Do you know room 13? I really can't hear, so you have to come closer to the mic so that I can hear you. Is there anyone talking there, or is it no one talking? Okay. Do you guys know in room 13 or not? No. Okay. So what happened was there was actually 7 of our military officials that was killed in the Congo. That is actually there to help with the unrest and the whole war that's happening there. So that is indirectly, externally affecting us, isn't it? Think about that. It's far, but it's not that far. It's in Africa, no? Congo is in Africa. So can that have an effect on us? It's part of the mine industry. mining industry. Right? Okay. All right. I want you to read through example 1.1 on your own on page 21. And then there is a SWOT analysis that they have there regarding this case study on page 22. Okay, guys, so this is then the end of this module. What I want you to do now is to do case study 1.3, and that is Zandile's business. We're just going to do that one, and that will then conclude the whole business, not the business, the module for us. Okay, there's paper right in front in the little box, should you need some. Otherwise, guys, I repeat myself again. Maybe you want to get into a situation where you just want to get a book for yourself, a thin one that you can use, that is neatly organized then, that you can take in as resources for the TM2 or then TM1 or the national exams, so that it is organized already. All right. Just a few slides here before we do that. That was now the internal, external environment. We spoke about those economical factors, and then the cultural factors. Look at this one. McDonald's signature beef burger, the Big Mac, is not served in India. Why not? Because in India, cows are considered sacred. Cultural issues. See? You can even see how this guy's feeding that person. And then relating to different cultures as well, people might understand each other wrong. Why is she trying to shake my hand? We French people don't really touch people's hands, they bow. And then she doesn't understand why is bowing and not shaking her hand. Okay. Here's the green peas. I'm sure you've seen the greenies all over the place. There's a little bit of pollution as well. And then we all know how much plastic is lying or actually is dumped in the sea. Nowadays, it's a situation with sewage as well. Okay, so if you are at the beach, please don't drop your plastics there. Take it with you. Is the technology, and this is then the last slide. Okay, guys, can we do that activity, please? Do it as complete as possible. You also have the example there on page 22 to refer to.